With the undeniable rise of violence and assaults towards our healthcare staff and first responders, it's time to prevent, protect, and preserve those who take care of us. Make status sleeves the first choice in protecting our frontline workers.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of Just a Little Salt. I've got a very special guest with me today. We got Fireman Lance, the Johnny Bravo of firefighting.
The Johnny Bravo. That was my nickname in fire school.
Wow.
Yeah, true story.
Nice.
Same hair for 12 years.
Starting off, just tell everybody a little bit about your story, and where you're at now.
Yeah. So my name's Lance, obviously. I've been a firefighter medic for 10 years now, paramedic for 11 years this year. So that's a crazy milestone. Been married for 8 years, got 2 girls, and just loving life, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, so you've been a paramedic longer than me. You should be the salty paramedic.
It doesn't mean anything. It's just
Yeah, I know we talked a little bit at FDIC. I think me and you've been at our career departments about the same length of time.
Mm-hmm.
So what first drew you into firefighting? I mean, was it just random, a calling, or something else?
Well, honestly, at first I wanted to. Well, okay, my buddy went into the Marine Corps and he enlisted. So I actually registered with a recruiter and I was going to do that with him. And then I wanted to do nursing or be a doctor or something like that. And one of my good friends from church actually said, come right out on the fire truck, because I was kind of in between, wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And so I went to Longview Fire Station in East Texas and I rode out on a fire truck and I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, no question, no doubt. I dropped everything. And my buddy's like, what the hell? I thought you were going to the Marines with me. I'm like, I'm sorry. This is what I want to do. And so it just went from there. I went straight out of high school to medic school first, got that done, and then went on to fire school. And it was rest is history from there. So
it's interesting how it works out, man.
Yeah.
My dad was a firefighter, so that's how I got into it. I was just always around it. But I'm always interested to hear people's stories about how it came, because everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my dad got into it because my grandmother was in a farming accident. And when all the firefighters was there, he was like, that's cool as heck.
Yeah.
I'm going to start doing that. So it always interests me.
Yeah, for sure.
So, you're probably about almost halfway through your career until retirement. Right?
Not half yet.
not half.
We got into a new tier, so I'm 25 and 55
Gotcha.
is what's going to be mine. So,
gotcha. Well, you've been doing it a while, so if you could go back to rookie you on your day one, what's the one piece of advice you'd give yourself?
Rookie Lance had a rough time learning the firehouse culture and kind of like, the new guy mentality thing, which wasn't very hard for me as it is for some of like the new age people now, which they probably said the same thing about us. But man, it's like, you guys need to talk a little less and do a little bit more work, because we did a lot of work and you're not really doing it. But it's our job to teach that too. And man, I would say to my younger self though, is wake up on time to avoid that one incident, because that was a bad time. It was my first day of FTO to be a paramedic and get checked off on the box. And my alarm didn't go off. My wife's alarm didn't go off. And I was almost an hour late to work. I woke up, the sun was up, like complete piece of crap, felt terrible. I'm like screaming out the door to get to the station. And I get there. Turns out before I had gotten there, they all loaded up because they had my parents' address. They didn't know that I was living with my wife at the time. So they drive the ladder truck, the ambulance, and the engine to my parents' house. My dad comes to the door in his underwear. My mom's in a robe. And they just see fire trucks and they think I'm at work. And they're like, oh my gosh, what happened to our son? Like they think something happened to me. And they're asking where I'm at and all this stuff. So I show up to work. They're all like, hey, buddy, how you doing? They bring me a cup of coffee. And they're like, glad you made it to work on time. And like, first thing you're going to do is we're going to go to the grocery store and you're going to buy some flowers for your mom. And you're going to take them to her. And then another thing I had to do was they took a wall clock, like a giant analog clock off the wall, and I wore it as a necklace while I was at the station.
Like Flava Flav.
And that was my nickname for a little while. Flavor Flav was my first nickname at the fire station. But it was all harmless. It was funny. And I learned, and I was almost an hour late to work hour early to work ever since then. So that's funny.
That's something. Those guys that show up, a minute, 2 minutes before you're supposed to be there, they just love playing with fire, man. I don't see how
crazy,
they do it.
dude. You can't do it. You got to get your stuff on the rig, and you got to have your coffee. You got to talk with the guys, do your shift exchange. It's just, you got to do it.
Yeah, I had one incident like yours. I remember, like you said, I woke up and it was light out the window, and I said, "Oh no."
Yeah.
And I don't know, my phone just didn't go off. And the battalion chief had called my dad, and my dad, I had a bunch of missed calls from him as well. Like, "I'll be there in a second, guys." And of course, they were giving me crap just like they gave you.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
part of the culture.
Yeah. But I mean, it's good. It builds character. It was harmless
absolutely.
fun. It was good.
Absolutely.
I think the only other thing I think of whenever I was like, if I were to talk to my younger self, is working out differently. Like, because if you haven't been humbled by a good burner yet, you will, if you're not in the right shape to do it. And I wasn't. All I did was like, I lifted weights and that was it. And that's not enough. And just as well as anybody else who works in this career, like, you will get humbled by that one fire that just kicks your butt. And it's a different kind of training you have to get yourself into. So
yeah, my eyes were opened when I went to take my CPAT. When I initially got hired, there was a bunch of guys there, heavy bodybuilders, and they failed on the Stairmaster, because they didn't train their legs. And they got gassed, and it's just it's a whole different job. Like you said, you have to train a whole lot differently.
Heart's got to keep up too. Yeah.
So what's one part of the job that the public really doesn't understand until they see it up close?
I think it's kind of a common misconception, like, whether it be from TV or movies and stuff that people see, they think that we're sitting at the station watching TV all day, and we just like,
no.
Yeah, if it's a great day, yes. But we're always doing something, like, from business hours for sure. Like, they have to understand that we live there, So, like, it's not like a camping trip, even though it might feel like it if you got some good guys at your station. It's like hanging out with your buddies. It's a great time, but we have a lot to do. We specifically do hydrants. We do inspections on every building, every commercial building in the city. We're constantly running some kind of errand because we're doing public events with schools. We're doing teaching. We're doing all sorts of classes, like, all the time. And just as of like the past few years, we've got new training and new classes every week, it feels like, and it's great because we've been begging for it, and it's finally happening. So we're busy. And then, don't get me wrong, like, as soon as the sun starts going down and things wind down, if we have a chance to sit in the chair, I'm going to sit in the chair. But, just like the rest of us. But,
yeah, absolutely.
We want to get our workouts in, and, the whole misunderstanding of like, why are my tax dollars paid for you to go to the grocery store? Like, well, we got to eat, it's all our money. We put it all into a pot together and we go get our groceries, and that's how we eat. I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions, is that a lot of people think we just kind of sit around until something happens, and that's just not the case very often.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we're a busy station. I don't know about yours, but my station alone and the two surrounding me, we average 15 to 20 calls a shift.
Oh, that's a busy day for us. We're actually one of the busiest stations at the department, but med and fire calls, we might average like 8 to 12 a day. Yeah, but it keeps us busy. Like you said,
pretty
doing stuff
normal
around
day.
the station, and yeah. Because you get at those stations that only average like 2 calls a day, it gets really boring.
Oh yeah, I don't know how you can do it, man. Some of these, we have a couple stations where they may get out once or twice. And whenever you transferred out as a new guy before we had home stations, dude, it was such a drag. Like there's nothing you can do all day. And it's usually a single company station with 3 guys, nowhere to go. It's like a, one day room, and I don't know, it's just a long day. I love a busy station. I'd like to retire out of a busier station personally.
Yes. People like to talk crap about EMS, but if I didn't have EMS at my department, we would hardly do anything.
Right.
We catch a fire every now and then, but we just, find busy work, but it keeps us on our toes.
You'd pick people up off the floor every day. That's for sure, huh?
Yeah. That's my station. We're known as the lift assist station.
You're the lift assist station. Yeah. I think every station in my city runs, I bet we run a total of like close to 10 lift assist a day, every day. Like as a whole altogether. And I know that like my station personally, it feels like we do 3 or 4 a day. Like it's guaranteed it's going to happen.
So Lance, after, working so long in the service so far, what do you think has been harder, the physical side of the job or the mental side?
Probably both. I mean, honestly, there's a balance of the two. I'd say that like we work 48s now. We used to do 24 48s, and now we do 48-96, and it's a game changer as far as refreshing and getting back to normal before you go back to shift, being normal for your family at home. Because like I said, we're a pretty busy truck, whether you're on the box or you're on the engine. So, we run those 10, 12, 15, 20 calls a shift, and then you got to go home and you got to some people have to be a dad, and you have to give 100% to your kids, to your family, to your wife. And that's really hard to do, especially on the 24-48 schedule. You have 1 day of recovery, 1 day of being somewhat normal, and then back to work. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, we didn't realize like how good we could have it until we switched, and I wouldn't go back. It's a game changer.
I've heard nothing but good things about it. I still currently work a 24-48, but we're looking at transitioning to, we're hopeful that we could do a 24-72, but that involves hiring another crew and all that.
Right.
But 48-96, I've gotten to the point in my career, I worked so many 48s for overtime. I got burned out on them, but having those 4 days after the fact, I think would be a game changer.
Yeah. It really is, and it's such a the way we rotate it is I'll come in my first day and ride the engine. My second day I ride the medic, and so we've made it an established rule as well to where if you do work hire back, call back, whatever you guys call it, you're not allowed to ride the ambulance for more than 48 hours at a time. So no matter what, even if it's for staffing, they'll move people around just to avoid you doing that. So that's worked out really good. I would just say that like physically, like just the exhaustion of, get busy running all the calls, which I mean, it's our job. It's what it is. And I love doing it, but man, sometimes it's rough and, trying to go home and be a normal person, not just walk around like a zombie. And like some guys, those single guys that they get to go home and they can just nap or sleep or whatever they want to do, catch back up. But you and me, we can't do that. We got, you got kids to entertain. You got to be dad. You got to be exciting and fun. But yeah, it's demanding physically and mentally. I think on the mental aspect of it, I don't really have as much of a problem personally. We have really good support groups and ourselves as a station as far as like mental exhaustion or whether it be running a really bad call or anything like that. We have a really good support group within each other, and we're good at debriefing after those bad calls and stuff like that. And my wife was an ER nurse for a long time, which is really cool because I didn't meet her as an ER nurse. I met her as a labor and delivery nurse, and she moved down there so she could see me at work. But it's really cool having that because she can sympathize, empathize, and understand. And I could talk to her about all these things without her getting grossed out or overwhelmed. Like she gets it, and she's seen bad stuff too. So that really helps on the mental side, I think, is to have a partner who can actually sit down and talk to you about stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that's huge. My wife, she is my biggest supporter. I'll come home from some shifts and I'll be tired, but like you said, you have to be a dad, you have to be a husband, you have to be present. Like there's some shifts, like you have a shift from hell, you'll have, 2 structure fires and run all night on med runs. You're legitimately exhausted. And
Oh yeah.
When I have that shift, I'll tell her, and she'll watch the kids, she'll let me sleep, relax. But at the same time, if I get up, 2 or 3 times during the night med runs, I'm not going to come home and sleep my day away. I'm going to be present
Right.
for those kids, and that's important. Is just finding that balance, because
Yeah.
you have to be that good present father and husband at the same time.
100%.
Good at your job.
Yeah, and like you have to give 100% of yourself to your crew, to the public that you're serving,
Oh yeah,
and all that stuff. But you have to come home and give 110% back to your family that you left alone for a day or 2 days.
oh yeah, because
That's really hard for them.
They're always excited to see you, and that's what I love about it. They've been away from you so long, and it just makes it that much sweeter when you come home.
It really does. It really does.
So we're going to shift to humor and culture of the job. So
okay,
I'm sure you've witnessed tons of firehouse pranks while you've been a firefighter. What's the best prank you've ever seen or been a part of?
So probably my favorite officer I've worked for. Like he taught me a lot. I learned a lot from him, but this guy was known for his pranks. And he's the station officer, and he did a great job. He led the guys. We respected him and all that stuff. But man, he would get anybody at any time, and he learned your weaknesses as soon as he met you, learned what you were afraid of, and took advantage of it. So he bought this doll, and different kind of doll. Just hear me out. He bought this doll, and it's probably about 5'5", stands on a stand, and it looks like the girl from The Grudge. Okay. It's in like a white ghost costume. It's got this messed up face, long black hair in its eyes. And he would wait until everyone went to bed, and he would pick which room. And so our rooms are like cubby holes. So we have a hallway and a cubby hole room, no door. It's all open. Mm-hmm. And he would take it and he'd stand it at the foot of your bed. So if you woke up for a call, she's just there, just staring at you over your bed. And you could hear screams from down the hall. It was hilarious. The best thing. And you could put her anywhere. Like sometimes he'd hang her up in the shower. So you'd undo the curtain. She's right there in your face. We got so sick of that doll. It was ridiculous. But it got us every single time. Like even when we were expecting it, like it's still like, every single time she'd come out. I mean, I've seen we used to put Kool-Aid powder and structure gear, like in their gloves and boots. It's harmless. It dyes your hands green or whatever.
Let me tell you this. My old sergeant put red Kool-Aid powder in my gloves during my sergeant testing. So I was already nervous and sweating, and I'm like, why are my hands sticky? And then they're stained red. I'm like, oh, let's just add this to the mix.
and it doesn't come off. Yeah. Not for a long, hard scrub. Man, I think also one of the best ones, which probably wasn't a great thing we did, but I was in the back of a box running call, and one of my good friends that I was working with at the time, he's got this little can of fart spray. And as he's driving me to the hospital, you got the little window behind you. Mm-hmm. He reaches in there, gives a couple squirts of fart spray. And this was a very long time ago. And the patient's just looking at me like, did you, he's like, did you shit back here? I was like, no, it wasn't me. I was like, was it you? And he's like, no. He's like, that's disgusting. That's unprofessional. I was like, and I knew exactly what it was as soon as I smelled it. I get out and reamed him so hard, and he's just laughing so hard he can't even breathe. That was way back in the way back though. We can't do anything like that.
I know. Yeah. When I first started, I'd been around it my whole life, so I was privy to the pranks. And I got on Amazon and I ordered a bottle of that fart spray, and I just set it on the firehouse table. I was like, I'm just going to watch the world burn today, this shift. And it was funny. All the, everything it was used for. They even used it on me, but it was still funny.
Oh yeah. It was funny. It was very funny.
My favorite prank that I can remember was our battalion chief. My captain was terrified of spiders. And my battalion chief went to the pet store and bought a tarantula and boxed it up and wrapped it up like a gift on his birthday. And when he opened it, there's that big spider. And he ran all the way across the street screaming.
Oh, I bet, dude. No way. So that's exactly how that captain I was telling you about was. I learned very early on, do not let anybody know what you're afraid of or what bothers you. do not tell anyone.
Oh yeah.
And because he'd use it against you. And it was funny, but man, like we had this guy that was deathly afraid of snakes, like Indiana Jones level, just terrified of snakes.
That's me.
And so the captain, he grew up with snakes. Like he had them and he loves them. And like he'll grab them off the street if we get called out for like a snake in a shopping center. That happened one time. He just went, grabbed it, put it in a box. But he saved it in that box, takes it back, plants it at the station. So the guy's always like on the lookout because we had these rubber snakes that he'd put around just to scare Shirley. And one day he takes the box of snakes back and gets real good with it and terrified him. So what he did was he took the snake out and he leaves the box with holes drilled in it in the back of the engine. So Shirley gets in the back of the engine and flips out because we take off. He can't get out. Flips out. He's like, I know there's not a snake in that box. And he's like, oh, don't worry. Why don't you look in there and look? But yeah, it's a good time, dude. Those pranks are funny.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Gotta have fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm sure you've experienced many firehouse meals. Firefighters are some of the best cooks, but also can be bad cooks, especially those young guys that's never cooked before. What's the probably least favorite meal you can remember from one of the firefighters you work with?
Well, I mean, just as well as I learned that early on too, as a new guy, you need to get like 3 or 4 things that you can just bang up, cook super well and impress the guys. Right.
Yep.
And this dude comes in, and I'm not going to name drop anybody, but this dude comes in and he boils hot dogs, opens up a can of Wolf brand chili, dumps it out on the table on the hot dog, serves it with some cold buns, and opens up a can of canned cheese, like that nacho cheese in a can. And we're like, huh. And I mean, I'm not above it. I'm going to eat. If there's food, I'm going to eat. But yeah. Man, I was like, dude, this is like, I talked to him after. I was like, this is not what you do. No. And he was like, well, I don't know how to cook anything. I was like, let me show you. I'll show you how to make like 2 good things that are very easy, but don't ever do that again.
Yes.
It was funny.
Yeah. For anybody watching right now that's thinking about getting into firefighting, before you go on shift, and obviously physically prepare, but start trying to cook, learn how to cook. Because that will go a long way in the fire service if you can cook a good meal. I remember my first day on shift, I let slip that I was a cook at Logan's Roadhouse. And so I grilled steaks and, everything else. And they're like, all right, you're staying at this station.
Yeah.
So you got to be good at something.
Think of it like you're the station wife and do all the things you can to be a good housewife at the station. And you'll go far that way. You got to prove yourself other ways too, but that way, key to all these men's hearts is through their stomach, right?
Yes,
so,
exactly.
Make some good food and you'll go far.
So we're going to move on to your social media presence. Man, been a big fan of everything you've done. You're super witty, and I remember one of your most recent videos that really made me laugh was the one you did, the Happy Gilmore Happy Place.
Man, and that video went nowhere at all.
That's the thing I hate about doing the social media thing. You put so much time and effort into something and it doesn't. Yeah. And it's disheartening, but man, I love that video. That was hilarious.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. I actually, most of the time I'll make a video and I might chuckle at it or think it's more relatable than funny. It might be really funny to someone else, but that one made me laugh every time I watched it.
Yep.
And I was like, this one's going to blow up. It's going to do great. And then nothing. I was like, are you joking? What are we doing? Even my buddies at the station, they were like, what? They didn't go off? How? Wow, that's the best video you've ever made. Anyway.
I don't know, man. It sucks.
But it is what it is. It's fine.
So what made you decide to start, posting these videos, doing this online content?
So it was peak COVID time when 2019, 2020, when all that was going down and we were bored at the house bored, you know what I'm saying? And I started making husband and wife comedy first. And if you dig way down, you'll find them at the very, very bottom of the page. I did a lot of voiceovers and stuff with my wife, or we do little skits or whatever. And that was really fun. And then one day I was like, I'm going to do one at the station. We got some downtime in between, not working, running calls. And I was like, it takes 2 minutes. It was I'll make something real funny real quick. And it started hitting the fire EMS community and started like the videos actually started taking off. I was like, oh crap, this is cool. Mm-hmm. And I did some related to coffee. I did some related to like lift assist, just, basic stuff. And then Jason Patton, Fire Department Chronicles, reaches out to me, and I'm like, whoa, like, what is this? And asked me to start helping make some content for Fire Department Coffee. I was like, okay, this is turning into a thing. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of went on from there, man. And then meeting all those guys and started working with them, and it's been great. Super awesome time.
It's like you're a mind reader, because that leads into my next question. So,
okay.
Like you said, you've done a lot of work with Fire Department Coffee. I had Fenton on the podcast a few episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of y'all are great guys and girls. What's one thing you would say has helped you develop as a person by working with these other like-minded individuals? Like, how have they made you a better person?
Man, I would say, first of all, it's just a great group of people. Everybody that works there and that I work with and shoot videos with are just genuinely good firefighters, good medics, good people, family oriented. Like they're just great to be around. And they all understand too, like when we go on these shoots in Chicago, we're gone for a week at a time, and Fenton's got 5 kids, and 11 kids. Yeah. And he's got to leave all them behind with his wife, and like, he understands. And Jason's got a daughter that he leaves behind sometimes. And, it's hard for the family aspect, but we all like group together, and we invite, like, our wives are always invited to come if they can, or to FDIC, like they can come with us. And it's just a great company to work for, man. But as far as like development in my content, Jason and Fenton both have helped me a lot with my content, like, because they've been around it for, almost 20 years making content. They're the godfathers of EMS and fire content. Yeah. And so, like, I'll send and it's cool having them as a contact and as a close friend, because I can send them my videos and be like, hey, what do you think about this? And Jason would be like, let me tell you why that's a bad idea. And he's like, I did this video, because like, I can't post anything that he hasn't thought of or already done at some point, because he's done so much, or Fenton too. And they're like, man, if you say this, like, I know it's funny to us, but it's not going to be funny to them. And I'm like, oh, okay. And Sammy's also my mediator on that, as far as like, from an outside perspective, like, I wouldn't say that. Like, to me, it's really funny. And then she's like, probably not. But so that I've had a lot of growth that way, as far as like being politically correct in what I say, and not, the goal of my content is never to directly insult anybody. It's more of storytelling, like, like, this really happened. I have a couple on there that are obviously fictional. Whenever I was kind of in a lull and like struggling for content for a minute. But almost every single one of them is a true story that happened to either me or one of the buddies I work with. And so it's just, I hope to gain teaching points out of it. And I've had some people reach out on Instagram, I'm sure you have as well, saying like, you may not think your content makes a difference, but I actually learned and prevented myself from doing the wrong thing the other day because I remembered your video. I'm like, that's crazy, dude. That's super awesome. Like, never would have thought it would affect anybody that way. I'm just trying to get a laugh every now and then. Yeah. Yeah. And I know, I'm sure you see it all the time as well. But yeah, it's been really great. And working with those guys it's really inspiring watching them work. And it's a totally different atmosphere being out there and filming on a set with like a big time camera. We get filmed by, I'm sure you've seen Ballistic High Speed, where like the bullets collide and stuff. The slow-mo camera. So he's our camera guy, and like he's got this big setup, huge like stage lighting and all this stuff. And first time I went out there, I had a script of like 3 words I had to say. And I felt like, first off, I felt like I was having a heart attack. And my heart's like 140, just pounding in there. And I'm tremoring, like shaking. And Jason's like, calm down. He's like, it's a video for TikTok. It's okay. I was like, I know, but I'm so nervous. And I had to get over that. So that was a big hurdle. But man, it's just fun, dude. It's a good time. We have a great time together.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can't imagine, because do you use an iPhone or your phone to just film videos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going from that I'm about to go camera like you. But yeah,
it's a game changer, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I need to. But yeah, filming in front of that camera on the big tripod, and then they have. Sorry, I'm rambling a little bit, but they have all the sponsors and everything in the room watching you, because we're usually talking about a product or showing a product in the video, so the people who manufacture it or invented it are there watching, and so it's very intimidating.
I'd say so.
And I'm like, don't screw up, be funny, and so it's very cool though, very very humbling experience a lot of the time, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, speaking on the social media aspect, like this has brought you opportunities, and like you said, you've received messages from people. If there's somebody watching right now that would like to be in your shoes and start filming videos, what would be your one piece of advice to them?
I would say, number one, don't let the internet get you down. Because I mean, especially like on the gram, people are ruthless.
Oh yeah.
And don't be cringy. Because when I started, dude, I've made some stuff like it's deleted and gone forever now. But I was like, how did I make that and think it was okay? Because I was like, ugh, gross.
Yeah, it's all about growth. Myself. It's all about growth.
Yeah. So I mean, you'll grow in your content, and like you just have to do it. I mean, you got to try it, put yourself out there, and you got to see what your thing is, what people react to the most that you do. And just go with it, man. It's a learning game. I'm still learning every single day how this stuff works.
Oh yeah.
And like you were saying earlier, sometimes you'll make a bang up video you think is going to take off and do great, and nothing, and then you'll spend 5 seconds on something that's ridiculous and it blows up.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, just don't quit. If you want to get into it, don't quit, and don't let people get you down, and just ignore the comments, have fun with it. Everybody's just trying to get a rise.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Those comments and messages, I don't receive them too often, but when I do, I kind of just like, okay, I'm not going to look at that again. It's one person. That's one person. So
a lot of times I'll just give it a heart and like post a thumbs up or something like that just to make it bad.
Yeah.
Like I see you, it's fine, whatever.
Yeah, there was one guy that messaged me one day, and I don't even know why or what he was responding to, but he was calling me every name in the book and making fun of my mustache. And I mean, he said so many words, it made me blush. I was like, this guy really doesn't like me, but
yeah.
I was like,
yeah. Well, like I had a guy the other day, he was like, you're not funny. I'm like, okay, you don't have to watch it if you don't want to.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't care. I was like, I'm doing this for me. I was like, this is just fun for me. I like doing it. It makes me, it helps you. It's like a stress reliever. It kind of helps you vent a little bit in like a healthier way.
Exactly.
And hopefully gets a teaching point across either to patients or to people who work in the field. I think it's great.
Yeah. So moving on to the lifestyle of a first responder, what's the weirdest thing someone has ever brought to the fire station that you can remember?
So it wasn't a firefighter. We had this guy. He's retired now. His name was Dave. He was like my mentor, like carried me through a bunch of stuff, like taught me a lot. Dave had this way of talking to people who were not taking their medicines and kind of like on a psychotic break. And he had this way of talking to these people where they trusted him and they listened to everything he said. Like they could be in a manic episode and like violent towards us or whatever. And like Dave shows up and they calm down. They talk to him. He talks to them and they just listen to him. Well, this one lady, she just gets done telling us about like how her brother's brain was kidnapped by the FBI and they sent it to Area 51, and she's like, I can't look directly at your eyes because the lasers will pinpoint into your brain. I'm like, okay, it is what it is. That's fine. And not play it into it, but just going with it. And she falls in love with Dave. Falls in love with him and is like gooing and gawing over him and just like told her whole life story to him. So she was a station walk up and tells all this story. And then she leaves and she doesn't want to go in the ambulance or anything. And she leaves. She's like, I feel better. I'm going home. Like, okay. And she left. And the next morning we show up and we had this big sliding glass door by the kitchen table. So we're having our coffee in the morning before getting off shift. And she's got all these trinkets and like, she went and pulled full rose bushes out of people's yards. There was a tricycle from somebody's yard and like flags inside. She just went like door to door and stole everybody's stuff. And she's gone and placed them like trophies on this table for Dave. And like he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, I wanted to bring you all these gifts. Thank you for talking to me. He's like, where'd you get this stuff? she's like, don't worry about it. It's just for you. We're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm talking, I mean, out of the ground, roots and all, whole rose bushes. Like, I know she got thorns all in her hands. Some poor kid's tricycle. Like, all this stuff just on the picnic table outside. That's probably the weirdest thing I've had at the station brought up by somebody. Or people themselves would be the other thing. Like, we were on a side of town where there's a lot of transients walking around. And so, like, you know, fire station's a public building. People can walk up anytime and request to talk to us or whatever any time of the day. So we like to keep the bay doors up and stuff like that. But the back door, we lock that because we'll be sitting in there in the living room or back in the bedroom at night and the door open and some rando just walk in there. And we're like, hello. They're like, I need to use your shower. We're like, no. it's public building. It's not that kind of public building. We actually had few years back, there was a lady that came in while we were all out on a call, snuck into the station, took a shower, and took a nap in one of the guys' beds. And they found her off in the bed, like she just made herself at home. And we were like, hey, you can't be here. You know, I'm sure the words were a little bit different, but yeah, so we got police out there and everything, and she like threw a big fit and got CT. It was a big deal. So yeah, we lock the door now and make sure that the bay doors are shut when we leave. And that was a long time ago. But it was a crazy story.
Yeah, it truly is the same everywhere. I mean, we had a individual one time that walked in while we were gone and used our toilet and didn't flush. And then when we got back, they were in the fridge drinking Cokes and eating somebody's grape. just like they live there.
Yeah, make yourself at home, whatever. It's funny, dude. It's crazy. We got to be really careful.
Oh yeah. So this last segment of the show is just a couple funny questions, like a little lightning round. So we're just going to go through them and see what you have to say. All right. So if firefighters had trading cards, what would be the back of your trading card?
Guaranteed to fall down at a structure fire. I don't know what it is, dude. Like I train, I try to get my core up, get athletic as possible. And I'm not athletic. Mm-hmm. Never have been. I'm goofy footed and I have wooden hands. I mean, it is what it is. But if Lance gets a structure fire, speaking about myself in third person like a weirdo, if I get a structure fire, I'm guaranteed to fall down once. Like I'm either going to trip over a bunch of hose in the house or I'm going to trip over somebody's overpacked, junk off in the house that's burning. I'm guaranteed to fall down once. I get right back up. I mean, it's not like a base plant or nothing like that, but I'm going to definitely like hit my knees or something like that. It's inevitable.
If you could invent a superhero alter ego based on your job, what would his name and power be?
I think his name would be Johnny Snaps. He'd have the same haircut as me. And at the snap of his fingers, he could pick people up off the floor without touching them.
Ooh. That'd be nice, be able to pick up people that covered in poop, not have to touch them.
Just send in Johnny Snaps and just, bam, off the floor. No cleanup involved. Just move them over.
I like it. What's the weirdest call where you thought, there's no way this is real life?
Let me think. Okay. One day we get called for an SI call as a site call. And it was an elderly lady. And she's apparently like having either a manic episode or like a sundowners deal or something like that. We didn't know. So police are all there outside and they say they've cleared the scene and everything. And we're like, where's the patient? They're like, oh, she's still inside. I'm like, okay. And like, does she have a knife or like a weapon or anything like that? And they're like, no, they said there's nothing in the house. She's unarmed. She doesn't have anything. She just won't come out. I'm like, okay. And so we go in with PD and we're like scouring the kitchen, living room. And it's like old style house, real vintage stuff. It's got like grandfather clocks that are like 10 feet tall, and all this old trinkets and stuff. And it's all dark. All the lights are off. I got my little flashlight and I'm going around. I'm like, fire department, where are you at? And we can't find her anywhere. So I go to this hallway. And mind you, this is like in the fall. So we've all been watching scary movies at the station at night, just getting ready for, Halloween, whatever. So I got that in my head all the time. And I'm going down this dark hallway. And if you look down the hallway, there's a room directly across from the hall entrance and then down the halls to the right. So I look in that room. It's open. It's nothing but clothes in there on like racks. Is weird. I look down the hallway. I'm like, hello, fire department. This lady does a full 180 into the door frame. What are you doing in my house? And I jumped and screamed like the biggest little girl. Freaked out. My partner screams out a cuss word. He's like, oh my God, scared all of us to death. And she just, that was a really weird incident. And that was probably the only time I've ever been scared on a call, legitimately. It was like haunted house setting. And she just pops out of this dark room, is like, what are you doing here? Right in my face. And I've never jumped and screamed so hard my entire life.
I tell people that all the time, that's one of the scariest moments in this job is when you get those medical pendant activations in the middle of the night or well-being checks and you're going through the house and it's pitch black and you're, the lady's hard of hearing, so she don't know you're in there. And you're like, hello. And you're like announcing
go find them.
And I remember one in particular, like she was like behind her bed, like on the floor, and all I saw was like her gray hair, and it just she like turned like that and looked at me, and like you said, I screamed like a little girl.
Oh. It's like, oh, we're here to help you, but please don't scare me.
Yep.
I think like the only other time I can think of is we had this lady that we used to run on a lot, and her colostomy bag would explode all the time. And that we knew that's what we were getting into every time. Well, so the guy I was working with, he had over time, like, I guess it's pretty common. Like, it seems like all the older guys that have been here a while, their stomachs get a little soft. I think they're just so tired of smelling it and seeing it for so long. They're like, nope, I'm not doing it anymore. So we had this episode where we knew what was going to happen, and it happened. It's all over. I got like, just do the nice thing, public service, clean her up with a towel and put her new bag on. And that was it. So I go in there, and my preceptor at the time goes in, and he walks in, beelines right around. He's like, nope, your call. And I was like, okay. And so I go in there, and he's in the back behind me. I'm like, hey, I was like, what happened? I'll help you, whatever. Being the new guy, trying to be as polite as possible. Like she's vulnerable. She's not happy about it. And meanwhile, my partner's in the back, and he's just like behind me, just fighting for his life, trying not to barf. And then he disappears. I'm like, all right, I guess couldn't handle it. So I change her up, get her all fixed up. He comes back around. He's like, hey, I'm really sorry about your cat's litter box. And she's like, what? She's like, I don't even have a cat. What are you talking about? He's like, oh. He's like, well, I threw up in a litter box somewhere. I was like, what do you mean? And sure enough, he did. He lost it. He couldn't hold it anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a funny story.
So if the fire service had an Olympics, what event would you win gold in?
Surgical cracks.
Oh yeah?
I've done 2 now. And like, that might not be a lot, but like most people like don't get to do that their whole career.
I haven't got to do it yet, man.
I've had 2, and I feel very confident in it.
That's awesome.
It was a big, oh crap moment. Yeah. And both times. And I was like, well, here we go. This is what we trained for. So let's do it.
That's awesome.
And both of them were successful and went well. So I'm pretty confident in those.
I'm not.
That's probably the best answer I can give you on that.
What's the most random item you've ever found in the fire truck after a shift?
I would say that doll that I was telling you about.
Yep.
Because at the end of the shift, we had a brand new guy coming in. And so you could take her base off to where she was shorter. And I set her up in the cab of the firefighter seat. So she's below the window, so you can't see her. So as soon as you open the door, she's there.
Mm-hmm.
And that new guy comes in early in the morning, makes the coffees, doing all the things, comes out with his gear, and I just hear like out on my face, and like got him super good. So that's probably the weirdest thing that's ever been left in the fire engine that I've seen. It was funny.
Well, in closing here, Lance, you got anything you want to tell the people? Go follow him on all social medias, obviously, but any clothing.
And this guy, yeah, man. I do want to answer one question that you sent over, is the billboard question.
Oh, I can't read. I'm sorry. I must have skipped over that.
Oh, you're good.
Here it is right here. Let me ask you that. If you could put a giant billboard in your city with one message from firefighters to the public, what would it say? Shift
changes at 7 a.m. So all those calls, obviously if it's an emergency, it's an emergency. That's different. But, you've been hurting for 2 weeks. Let's wait until 7.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We've been running all day, and then you get the one at 6:45. You're like, oh, your guy's not there yet. But it is what it is. We love doing our job. It's not a problem.
Yeah. I've seen those guys on those runs where, we run on them at 2 a.m. Their patients like, I don't think I want to go. But I might call back later. I'm like, well, if you do, probably
wait till 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in closing, man, I appreciate you having me on here. It's been great talking to you. Follow this man on all his stuff as well. Dude's super funny. Hope to see you again at FDIC, and can't wait for the episode to air, man. It's going to be great.
I'll be there. Well, thank you so much, man. Y'all make sure to go follow Just a Little Salt on all platforms. And new episodes out every other Monday. So see you all next time.
Yeah, man. Bye, everybody.
With the undeniable rise of violence and assaults towards our healthcare staff and first responders, it's time to prevent, protect, and preserve those who take care of us. Make Stethosleeves the first choice in protecting our frontline workers.